Hello everyone, I hope that you all had a wonderful winter break and you're recharged and refreshed and ready to make some more art. So this week we are going to be making a patterned landscape. What is a landscape? Well, a landscape is any sort of artwork that shows nature or the land, as the name would suggest. So landscapes can include hills, trees, rivers, walking trails, mountains. Can have sun, clouds, rain, even animals if you want. So anything that has to do with nature and showing land is a landscape. So before we get started on making our artwork, we're actually going to take a look at foreground, middle ground, and background. And all of this is used to create depth to make a landscape. So let's go take a look. So before we begin creating our own landscapes, this is an example of one that I have drawn. So this is how we're going to start our piece. And all of these lines are called landlines. And landlines are just showing different parts of the land. So in this there is foreground, background, and middle ground. So foreground are the things right here. They're the objects that are closest to us, so closer to the viewer. And anything that is drawn in this area will be large, so it will be larger. So like these bushes are really big here, but if they were up here, they would be a lot smaller. So this is the foreground. Then there is middle ground, which is this area here in the middle. And these details or any objects like trees, for example, that are drawn in this area will appear smaller than the objects that are in the foreground. So these will be a little bit smaller. And then this very top part here is the background. And the background are things that are far away and they will be drawn really, really small. So let's say you put some trees or something along this mountain. They would be a lot smaller than everything else down here. So it'll be larger, a little bit smaller, and smallest. That creates the illusion of depth in a landscape. Okay. So now that we have talked about foreground, middle ground, and background, let's get started on creating our own landscape. Hello everyone. So to start, we are going to have our paper. We're going to have our paper vertical like this. Most of the time landscapes are drawn with a paper that's horizontal, but we're going to do something a little different. We're going to draw on our paper when it's vertical, so it's straight up and down. So to start our landscape, I'm going to start on the bottom of the paper, which is like the foreground. And the foreground is the part that's closest to you, so closest to the viewer. Using a green marker, I'm going to draw some curved lines that are going to be bushes in my landscape. So, we're blurry. Oh, there's one side. I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side. Alright, so now I'm going to draw some different curved and wavy lines to be the land. So maybe it could be like hills or different parts of the land in your landscape. So to start, I'm going to actually take a blue marker and I think I want to make a river or a lake in my landscape. So I'm going to take a blue marker first and draw a curved line. Just like that. And now I'm going to take my green marker again and just draw a series of curved and wavy lines to be the different hills. Add one at the bottom there. And yours doesn't have to look exactly like mine. So to do different ones, you can do like I'm doing, where one starts in the middle and they overlap. Or you can do one like this, where it's just a line that goes straight across. Okay, so now I think I'm going to take a different color of green marker and add another little hill there. And then I'm going to take a purple marker and I'm going to add some mountains in my landscape. Draw some more curved and wavy lines like that. Now I have most of my landscape done, and I decided I wanted to add a sun that's like rising from underneath the mountain. So it's like rising above the mountains. So I'm going to use warm colors for this, which this will be a review. So we have 3 warm colors: red, orange, and yellow. So I decided to take an orange marker. Just drew a little half circle like that. And then I'm going to draw some straight lines that come out from that circle to be like the sun rays. So now the next step is using our markers again. We are going to put a different design or pattern in each little section of our paper, so the different land lines that we have. So I'm going to use the same color markers that I used before to make the designs. So I'm adding some wavy lines in my lake to look like water. Just like that. And then I decided that I wanted to add some swirls in the bushes. So you just want to do different designs in each little section. Be any designs that you would like. So I'm going to grab a teal marker, and I think I'm going to add some trees to my landscape. So I'm going to show you guys a simple way you can draw some trees. So to start, start like you're drawing a triangle. But instead of closing it off completely on the bottom, you want to leave a little space, and then draw 2 lines straight down to be the tree trunk. And now you have a little tree. Just doing the same thing. Maybe you want to add a tree in between these 2. Do some overlapping. So that'll make this middle tree look like it is behind the first 2 trees. Part of it's hidden. So I'm going to do the same thing over here. Drawing my triangle and then drawing the little tree trunk. So maybe you want to add some trees on different sections of your paper. So let's say you want to draw some trees that are down here. On the bottom of the paper, anything that is drawn down there will be larger because it's closer to us. But let's say you wanted to draw trees that were farther up on your paper, like here. They would be smaller because it's farther away. So I'm making these trees a little bit smaller because, like I said, it's supposed to be farther away from us. So they're going to be smaller than the first trees that we drew. Now I'm just going to continue drawing some patterns and different designs on my paper. So now that we've finished with the marker portion of our landscape, we're going to take some crayons and we are going to color our landscape in. So I'm going to be using the same kind of colors that I used in my marker, so like blue, green, purple, and orange. And you want to color kind of lightly so you can still see the marker pattern that's underneath. Because if you color too dark, then you won't be able to see it. So you want to color more on the lighter side, so not pressing too hard when you're coloring. And I decided I wanted to add a pattern inside my sun because I missed a spot. Whoops. So after I have done that, I will start to color in the landscape. So like I said, you want to make sure that you're coloring more on the lighter side just so we can see your amazing patterns. And once you finish coloring, there you have it, your very own funky patterned landscape. It's nice and colorful. I cannot wait to see your designs. Have fun and be creative. Bye, everyone.